Morose Harry is questioned about fake Archie and Lily. Where are your children? A couple of Twitter users have contacted me, and both of them assure me that Harry does watch YouTube and he reads the internet every single day. Now, surely this isn't true, but anyway, if it really is true, then that could explain why Harry's always looking so depressed these days. I can only assume, Harry, that you're listening to this right now, so please listen to what I have to say. We're sick of the games. Harry, where are the kids? Do you really think that people want to see these blurry pictures of dolls and these photoshopped images of rented children? If the kids are real, please just be proud of them. Show us what an amazing father you really are. We all know that you and that narcissistic wife of yours, yeah, the same one who announced to the entire world that you were involved in a near catastrophic car chase at 80 miles an hour through the streets of Manhattan, avoided showing authentic doctor signatures on hospital records, and also those sketchy birth certificates that were filled with errors. Do you really think that people are this dumb? Harry, the rumors are certainly not circulating in your favor. There are way too many people out there who are claiming that the miracle births are indeed that, a miracle. You know just as well as we do that Meghan Markle was filmed and photographed wearing a moon bump that was always expanding and deflating and moving around. This is another rumor that perhaps you could explain. Another thing that has people concerned is that you told everybody the late Queen was rolling around playing on the floor with Archie just a few weeks before Her Majesty passed away. I mean, it just shows how strong she was, how agile, even at her age, a truly amazing woman. But when you and Meghan came in, the ground staff at the airport reported that you were alone. There were no kids with you. Harry, how exactly can you explain that? It's not looking very good for you. Or do you even have the time to explain this? It has to be difficult to spare just a few minutes to put our minds at rest when you're so busy arranging interviews with people like the Pope and President Putin and also North Korea's Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un. I guess it's pretty difficult being all the way at the top, right, Harry? But probably the biggest rumor of all is the question of where you're even living right now. Some people claim that you spend days away from Montecito staying at the San Vicente Bungalows, a private members club in LA. I can understand why you would want to escape Meghan Markle, but still, how can you stand to be away from your young kids? And I'm sure you can remember that photo of you looking so morose, Harry. How could you possibly forget it? A photographer working with Getty Images took that photo, just as a reporter to the left of him shouted at you, "Any regrets, Harry?" You heard him, but you didn't even answer. Instead, you just gave him a knowing look. Well, Harry, do you have any regrets? Now, if you leave that nasty woman or if she dumps you, I am sure that if you were to issue a public apology to the people of the UK and finally come clean about the moon bumps and all that mess, they are going to forgive you. Just remember, nobody ever wants to see or hear from Meghan ever again. And if there are any kids, which most people at this point doubt, then please just bring them with you. Meghan is not going to be held back by them unless, of course, they can make money for her. After all, the world is her stage, but she's about to fall off big time. And you know what? The crueler part of my personality cannot wait for that to happen. Harry, you should really return to real life, and you should just find a decent and respectable role. And I'm sure there's going to be room for him somewhere. It could be possible for him to eventually redeem himself, if, of course, he can finally show some humility. The pain that he has caused his family, his friends, and the country is eventually going to fade away, and everybody's going to heave a big old sigh of relief. Just leave that nasty woman before she completely destroys you, though, Harry. It's time to wake up and smell the coffee. She is just using you. And unfortunately, the royal expert Miss Janice Sands said, Harry has passed the point of no return mentally and physically. She explains the Stockholm Syndrome is firmly ensconced in his psyche after almost 6 years of subtle brainwashing by Meghan. Realization and recovery cannot even begin until the relationship with Meghan ends, and even then it will be a very long and difficult process. To watch a man destroying everything and everyone he was brought up to respect, love, and cherish is painful. Now, the fact is, Harry married Meghan. We don't know if it was because he was in love or just in lust. And of course, there are always regrets when the love connection goes south. If, in fact, Harry and Meghan are not even living together, then there's probably going to be a cooling off period while Harry talks about the next steps that he should take with his advisors. But Harry needs to be very careful as he's making up his mind. If the two of them do divorce, would Harry even be able to remain in the US? Would he choose to come back to Great Britain? Would his family accept his request to be a working royal again? Would Meghan try to come back to the UK if the divorce was required to be addressed there? And what about the invisible kids? These are questions that need answers. Now, sure, there are many regrets at the core of the relationship between Harry and Meghan, and the path ahead is going to be a very difficult one to figure out. It's just not going to be easy to sort out this whole mess. Now, to a great extent, Harry can relax because the palace lawyers are going to take over and they're going to deal with everything. They know that he is not bright enough to negotiate anything. I don't believe that Harry would wish to remain in America. He is way out of his depth there. Harry simply does not fit in with the Hollywood celebs. His life within the palace walls was so far removed from Hollywood. Meghan convinced him that he was going to be so famous, he was going to be an A-lister in Hollywood, so important, and doors would immediately open to him just because he's a royal, and he believed everything that she said. Now, whatever Harry and Meghan's self-inflicted lies and problems may be when it comes to their lives and possible kids or not, it's important that we don't completely trash Montecito. Montecito is a pretty nice place, and it's not like they want the two of them there, and definitely California is in the same boat. I've got plenty of friends from California, and I can assure you all that most people are not on drugs. Most of them are not attacking their families for cash. It's not normal in California to look down on people who work for you as inferior. And most people in California have to work very hard to make a living. Unfortunately, though, the vast majority of Brits only know one thing about Montecito, and that is that Harry and Meghan live there. So Harry and Meghan have made the whole town look bad, and really the whole state of California too. They're a couple of shallow, untalented con artists just flailing around in an artistic environment, surrounded by influential politicians and actually bright people. They're just unimpressive, though. The sooner that they realize their mission to be rich and popular beyond all sense has failed, the better it's going to be for everybody. And let's not forget, Harry has said that he was the closest person to the late Queen, implying that he really was her favorite. And he said that he wanted to make sure the right people were looking after her. But that last summer vacation at Balmoral, even though she had written a few letters asking Harry to finally come and spend time with her during the summer break, he was the only member of the family who didn't make the journey to go see her last summer. Instead, Harry decided to put things off until it was too late, and he was fighting to get that nasty woman that nobody wanted around to be able to go with him. And I'm sure that it broke the late Queen's heart not to have one last vacation with her whole family visiting her. I do hope that Harry does listen to this video, and I hope that he can understand what an idiot that Meghan has made of him. Her life is just one act at a time, and she obviously is in charge of the plot. And do you agree with me? Please tell me your opinion below in the comments. If you think my video is useful, remember to like and share it with your friends and family members who need it anytime you want. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.